After I finished my service as a lone soldier in the Israeli army, I realized this was my defining moment. It's time for me to build success, create stories, and the financial freedom that I never had before. I used to be trapped with money, and now it empowers me. Since then, I've developed a multi-million-dollar financial advisory business, a podcast that has been featured on all the global media stations around the world. One of my favorite things to do is educate people on the mindset to build resilient wealth, build success, and have fun doing it. In my show, you will not only get best-of-class tips, amazing stories, a bunch of laughs, but you'll also get a mindset shift from a family of people who have come from nothing and will help you be ready to succeed. Welcome to the Resilient Riches Podcast. Hey, everybody. We're going to have an amazing person for this Instagram live podcast. It's Rose Hahn, one of the largest financial influencers on YouTube in the world, honestly. So I'm really excited to have her on. I'm just inviting her. If you just wait a minute, she'll be coming on in about a minute. But we're really excited for her. She actually just launched a book now that's the #1 bestseller for financial on Amazon, and we want to hear that story. I want to share it with everybody here. But we're really excited for it. So give us 1 minute. All right, Rose, we're going to give everybody a couple more seconds to jump on, and then let's get right to it. We got to talk about what's going on Amazon. I don't know if everyone's seeing what's happening on Amazon, but what are you, the #1 bestseller on Amazon right now?
#1 new release.
Number one new release. And for the people who stay on for the Instagram live, we're gonna have an amazing prize for you if you stay on for the next. We're gonna do this for about 20 minutes, and then we'll release this podcast onto the Resilient Riches podcast, which is probably a mid-sized podcast, top 10 in all of Uzbekistan. I don't know how it got there, but all of a sudden we're top 10 podcasts in Uzbekistan. So people have my name, yeah, for some reason. But Rose, you have such an incredible story. What I love about your book is you talk about how you could have gone things in the traditional avenue, but instead you went and broke the norm. And yes, thank you. Everyone's writing how proud they are of you. You broke the norm and built something for yourself that was completely different. So first off, how do you look at money before you went on this financial journey to post going on this financial journey? So what was the big perspective change?
The big perspective change is I'm in charge of how my life goes. I'm bigger than money. Money is not bigger than me. You know, before when I was 6 figures in debt, I thought it would never go away. I can't do anything about it. And now having gone through this journey, I realized money is like one of the ultimate arenas for personal growth and for understanding how much agency and power we have. And now like I feel super confident. I know whatever financial goal I have, I have the tools to make it happen, and most importantly, the self-confidence. So that's part of why I'm so passionate about spreading this message, is because so many people feel overwhelmed by their financial situations that, you know, they feel like money is bigger than them. But I just want everyone listening to know that you're in charge. You know, you get to call the shots.
But what about the people that feel like, hey, I'm in this W-2 job. Like, how do I get out of it? I have big expenses. I want to do what you're talking about doing, but I'm kind of stuck in the rat race. How would you recommend somebody getting out of that?
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, like, is a W-2 job such a bad thing? I mean, if you enjoy it, I don't buy into the whole idea that having a W-2 job is just bad no matter what, you know? Like, that's actually a great place to start for a lot of people, especially if you're in a career that you enjoy. And if it pays well, like, making paycheck income is the starting point for most things. Like, it's okay to take your paycheck as long as you take that as seed capital to create other income streams. So I talk about in my book the 3 kinds of income: employee income, business income, and investment income. And employee income is where most of us start. We go to school, we get a job, and that's how I started too. I had a good Wall Street paycheck. But if you stay in the hamster wheel of always making a good income at your high paying job and never putting it to investments or starting a side business, then you're going to be stuck in that hamster wheel. So the key is figure out a way to create some margin in your life, like get your expenses down to what they need to be and no more, so that you live a good life, you enjoy your life, you're not miserable, and you pay for all your needs. And then invest that margin, the gap, into creating investment income. So, a really simple thing everyone can do, like everyone listening right now can start doing, is put money in your 401k. And if your job offers an employer match, then max out and contribute as much as you need to get the full employer match. And then your 401k provider will handle this for you, but they'll invest that into low cost index funds, hopefully some good ones. And that's one really easy way to turn your employee income into investment income. And you don't have to do much. So that's one way. And then also you can maybe take some of the money you make and start a side business, and that will create some business income. So it's okay to be in your W-2 job. It's honorable, and for a lot of people that's the best way to build wealth too. You don't have to start a business, you don't have to become an entrepreneur. As long as you recognize that employee income, like what you're making at your W-2 job, is not the end goal, and you're not going to find freedom if you just end right there. You have to find a way to turn that into other kinds of income.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big problem is that people feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck, and that they get stuck in this kind of, I would say, I don't want to call it a rat race again, but they feel like they cannot create this margin of additional money to put away into something else. The question would be, how can somebody start perceiving and look for better opportunities for them to grow and build wealth if the starting point, if let's say they cannot cut any more on expenses? And I'm a big believer, don't, you can't really budget through your expense years. So how can somebody even generate some additional income, even if it's a small 10, 15, 20, $30 a month?
Do you mean with a side business, not
The
investment?
side business, the side business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so to start a side income. Okay, first it all starts with knowing that you do have skills and a unique way of approaching things that would be valuable to other people. Like I think that's where it starts, because whenever people come to me and want to start a side hustle or something, side business, their first obstacle is, I don't have anything that I could monetize. Like I don't have anything valuable to share, you know? So the first place is recognize that you have something. We just need to find it. Maybe you need to like develop it a little more, gain a little more experience, but you've got something. So I take people through this exercise in my book called the 3 circles exercise. And this is where you find the intersection between what you love doing, what you are good at, and what people will pay good money for. And what you love doing, that's pretty simple. It's like often what you like to do as a child before you started getting sucked into all these adulting responsibilities, where now all our days are only filled with what we have to do, not what we love to do. But think back to what you love to do as a child, or even on the weekends. When you have free time, what do you find yourself gravitating towards? What podcasts do you like to listen to? What books do you like to read, or YouTube video topics do you watch? So that's a really good indicator of what you love doing. And then what you are good at is, there's hard skills, like things that you learned at on the job. Maybe it's like coding, or you know how to build financial models, or you know how to organize events, or like fundraise. Those are hard skills. And then soft skills are ways of being that come naturally to you. Maybe you're really good at making people feel at ease. Maybe you're really good at making connections between seemingly disconnected things. Maybe you are really good at making people laugh. These are like soft skills. And then the sweet spot is when you can find something that complement that. It's like a combination of your hard skills and soft skills. So for example, maybe you have the hard skill of taking really good pictures, and then you also have the soft skill of being really good at making people laugh and making them feel at ease. Well, that's a really good indicator that you could be a great like portrait photographer. Make them feel at ease and take great pictures of them. And then the third circle is what you would make good, or what people would pay good money for. And this one's actually the easiest one, because if you see other businesses or just anyone else making good money doing that thing, then that's already market validation for you. Um, so yeah, like kind of it's just the first 2 circles are very self-reflective. It's about knowing more about yourself, and you can go through some prompts. I provide some really good prompts in my book, steps that people can go through to find the thing in these three circles.
And I think
Um,
we're in our podcast, we love making very concrete and actual tangible ideas. And I love what you're saying is that like, hey, this is really what I like doing as a child. This is what I'm able to actually do. And then what would people pay good money for? And the problem that people I find that people really struggle with is finding those people that will pay good money for. But the beauty is we have this unbelievable marketplace now where people can find people that are looking for these types of services. So if you love being in fitness, you can be an online personal trainer over the weekend, and you can talk to people. Let's say you're in California, you could talk to people in New York, you could talk to people in all around the world, and you can do stuff like this with your soft skills and hard skills that you're able to do in the online place. If you don't have money, you don't need to drive places anymore. There is such an online marketplace where people, you can use what Rose is telling you and follow the prompts to go out and then go and join TopTal, Upwork, Fiverr, tons Facebook Marketplace. There's tons and tons of places where people are actually looking to hire. In New York City, the people who are actually doing I forgot what it's called. It's called TaskRabbit. Those guys are making like $100 to $150 an hour.
oh yeah.
And
Yeah, there's really no excuse these days, right? Online
no
marketplaces.
excuse.
I actually just read an article about how the workplace is changing and more companies are wanting to find fractional talent. So only hire instead of full time, hire people for the time that they need it, just and the exact role that they need. So these online marketplaces like fractionaljobs.io is great. You mentioned TopTal. TaskRabbit is more for like errands and
Yep,
tasks, not so much like high level stuff. Upwork is also really great for those kind of gig work, high level, more higher level jobs.
yep.
So yeah, there's all these online marketplaces. So like know that the opportunity is there, the demand is there. The only thing stopping you is first you need to figure out what you are going to offer. What can you offer that you would enjoy offering, you would do a great job offering, and you would could make good money doing. Find that thing, and then we have to transition to another discussion of now how do you market yourself and how do you get clients and pay and get them to pay you. That's another discussion, and we can get into that too. But yeah, I feel like wouldn't you say a lot of your listeners are more stuck on the first part?
Yeah, I would say most of our listeners are trying to generate and get out. And I was just talking to somebody right now who's working on Amazon Web Services, and he also, even though he's making a significant income, he also felt like he was stuck in the in trying to figure out ways to generate more income so that he can have this financial freedom that he's been looking for. So even just talking to him and prompting him, this is a problem that people have across the board. So how did you get? I mean, you got to a point where you went from six figures in debt into a millionaire, multimillionaire, and building beyond that, and building this unbelievable tribe and community that really loves and follows, and you're really helping a lot of people. Do you find that responsibility has changed the way you think about life? How do you continuously stay and making sure you're adding value for the people that are listening?
So the question is how is the way I serve my community different now?
Has it changed?
Mm. I think before I was more taking them along my journey. Like on my YouTube channel, you can see my videos of my like debt payoff updates. So I was more like, hey, I'm really interested in I'm feeling very empowered figuring out all this money stuff and I'm sharing with you what I'm learning along the way. And I still have that kind of attitude of I'm just learning along the way a couple steps ahead of you. But yeah, I think now I don't talk as much about those earlier stage issues like debt. I'm talking more about how to make more income and then also to spend that money more consciously too. Like enjoy the life that you're building.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of what you do all the time. So what would you give a few action items that I know you covered in your book, but I want you to kind of go over it. What would you give a few action items for people that they start now generating additional money, they're being more conscious, and they're trying to level up their finances to the next level? What would you tell people to how to level up their finances?
Mm. Okay, I want to start by saying just do things in the right order. So that's why I wrote this book. It's at a zero. You can reach any financial goal and achieve any financial transformation from wherever you are. You just take it one step at a time. So I've got this zero by zero framework to change your finances. And so you have to do things in the right order. Like earlier you were mentioning about people who want to break free of their W-2 income and create a side business. But also, what good is it to try to create a side business and make more money if you're leaking money in all these other areas of your life? So first, start with, that's why the getting to zero chapter is all about like understanding your spending. And you'll oftentimes, if you just look through the last 3 months of your spending and kind of do a simple highlighter exercise of highlight the stuff that felt really worth it, highlight the stuff that felt like a complete waste of money, that's already going to reveal a lot of areas where you're probably leaking money, and it's you're spending money and it's not adding any value to your life, you know. And then also mastering your money mindset and taking control of credit card debt. It's about doing the basics in the right order so you don't have to backtrack. And then getting to 10,000 is about creating a budget, and it doesn't have to be some really advanced financial engineering spreadsheet. It could just be a simple task of having a plan for where you want your money to go every single month, because if you don't have a plan, then somebody else is going to have a plan, and then your money is going to be gone. So getting to 10,000, then getting to 100,000 is where you, now we're talking about earning more because you've plugged all the leaks. You know what to do with the money that you do make. So now we talk about earning more so that you have more, you have a bigger shovel, you know? So earning your worth, negotiating your pay at your current job. Like what you want to start with the lowest hanging fruit. So it's not like, oh, I need to jump out of my W-2 job and start this new thing over here. No, it's maximize your current job. Like you're already there. You already gained a lot of skills. So negotiate your pay, maybe even hop over to another employer because you'll probably immediately make a 20% higher raise just doing that. You know, like loyalty doesn't pay. And yeah, learn to earn your worth where you are. And then stash that money tax efficiently. And then in getting to million, that's when we start talking about all the sexy stuff that everyone likes to jump to first, like the entrepreneurship and the investing. But you don't want to jump to there before you've covered the basics. So yes, following that zero by zero framework, mastering your money mindset, get rid of credit card debt, understand your spending, then start creating a budget, tell your money what to do, and then earning more and investing and side hustles.
I love that. And I think it's super important because once you get the basics down, the big concern that a lot of people have, and that's a big part of my side, is something called resilient riches. It's about building wealth that you can actually keep, sustain, and that will last for generations and last really for the rest of your life. If you have the basics down, the reason why if you meet a lot of people who have come from nothing, like you, myself as well, if you meet people that really built from zero, while they start to grow, it's very hard for them to go back to zero because they have the foundational basics. But it is very easy for somebody who, let's say, inherits $1 million. The chances of them actually running out of money on their kids running out of money at that point goes down by 88%. So on the third generation, chances are that money's already gone. So it's a huge
Mhm.
problem that people are having that they're making they if they don't have the basics, they all of a sudden they spend it. If they have the basics, they're going to be able to keep it. So, can you talk about people who, let's say, do inherit money or do just come into a windfall of cash? What should they do with their finances?
Ooh, that's a good one. So, like I said earlier, if you don't have a plan for that money, when it comes, it's going to be gone. Somebody else is going to have a plan. Like online retailers, they're really good at marketing to you. Other maybe friends and family, they want to borrow money. Like it's all gonna be gone. So if you're expecting to inherit money anytime soon, I would I would I would figure out where every dollar of that is going to go in advance. And some of it, you decide to spend it. Cool. Just decide what amount of that you're going to spend, and the rest of it. I share this framework that people love in my book. It's called the financial waterfall, and it's basically like a waterfall system of where your money needs to go first, and then once it fills that bucket, what bucket needs to go to next. So the first is saving a $2,000 starter emergency fund. I'm gonna try to find a picture so I can show it on the live. But first is to start a $2,000 emergency fund, and then second is to pay off all credit card debt. Third is to max out your 401k employer match if you have one. Um, and then I'm trying to find it.
I,
Then you
I
want to
do
build.
I do
Yeah.
love, I will say while you're looking for it, I do love that you break it down in such a simplistic way. And it sounds like it's obvious, but I don't think people even know. Even me listening to it, and I deal with finances every single day, even me listening to it goes like, oh yeah, that is traditional stages, but I love how you're breaking it down across the entire book. Everything is step by step. And that's really how to build wealth is step by step by step instead of just jumping and cutting the line.
Yeah, and that makes it less overwhelming too. Just focus on the step that you're on. Don't worry about the next zero. Don't worry about the next mountain top that you have to scale. Just look at the one in front of you, and then when you get to that next one, you'll have a clearer view of how to get to the next one and the next one. So zero by zero is how I did it. When I first started out six figures in debt, my next mountaintop was just getting to zero. I wasn't thinking about getting to a million. Are you kidding me? Just getting to zero. But then when you get to zero, you're like, wow, I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of confidence and I have a lot more belief in myself and I have some good financial skills. Then you have to figure out the financial skills and money mindset upgrades that will get you to 10,000. That's another set of There's a whole nother set of things. So at each level there's new things to learn. So yeah, here's the waterfall. Is it like mirrored backwards?
Uh, Probably if you want to just read it out.
Oh, okay. But yeah, basically save $2,000, start your emergency fund, pay off all credit card debt, max out your 401k employer match, then save up a 6 month full emergency fund. Then you max out your Roth IRA and if you have one in HSA, and then max out the rest of your 401k. Or if you're self employed, you can max out a SEP IRA or a solo 401k. And then a lot of people, if you're reaching the last few steps of the waterfall, you are winning big time. But you can pay off all of your other debt except for your mortgage, if you've got student loans or car loans, things like that. And then after you've done that, then you can start funding a taxable brokerage account or saving for a house or for your kids' college. And then the final is you can pay off your mortgage early if you get there. So yeah, this is the order to allocate your money, so you're not like when you have money coming in and you have savings at the end of the month, you're not trying to spread that out towards five different goals. Like, okay, I need to save for college and I need to pay off debt and I need to invest and they're telling me I need to also save up an emergency fund. So let me do all of these things and put like $10 in each goal, and then you never make progress. So it doesn't feel motivating either. So rather than doing that, just concentrate all of your extra savings every single month towards one financial goal. And then when you finish it, move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. That's how you add a zero in the shortest amount of time possible, and don't feel like shooting yourself in the head in the process,
Right.
because it actually feels like you're making progress.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then you get excited and you learn and it becomes great. What's one of the biggest, and we only have just a few more questions. What's one of the biggest financial scams that you see today that people have to be aware of?
Ooh. So one of the downsides of being an online personality is then now there's scammers who impersonate you. So I've had people, like followers, who messaged me and said some scammer pretending to be you messaged me saying that if I invest $10,000 or whatever amount into your investment scheme, I can make quick, easy money. And a lot of the people who fall for this are like older and not as internet savvy. But I've had followers message me and they say they gave money to these scammers because they believed in the possibility of quick, easy, guaranteed money. And so that's probably the biggest scam to look out for. Is there's no such thing as quick, easy money that's guaranteed. You know, the only route is to take the stairs, to offer something of value, to sell and then deliver that service with your sweat and hard work, and then get paid for that value. You have to deliver value in exchange for money. There's no such thing as something for nothing, and then there's no such thing as guaranteed investment return without risk. It just doesn't exist. So good things take time. Anyone can build wealth long term in the stock market by not doing very much, but it takes time. So you either pay with with time, or you work really really hard to build a scalable side hustle that makes good income very quickly. Like either work or time, one or the other. So that's something I would warn people against is
Yeah,
never fall for those kinds of scams.
agreed. And I think just one thing I want to highlight, and I'd love to dig deeper if we had the time. There's two ways that you can trade at the beginning when you're first starting off. That what we have mostly is our time. We have extra time to go out and work or go out and add value or do something. And now with AI, and now there's so many opportunities now to learn new skills and to try new things. Just being an AI implementation specialist is something that has just become a new trend, and it really is not so hard to learn. But I think it's really important that at the beginning you learn how to trade your time for money, but when you try to level up, you're trading your product for money because your time is limited, but a product is never limited. So at the beginning, we'll do, let's say, one-on-one coaching or whatever it is that you're comfortable with. But after a certain time, you want to get to a point that you build enough asset and brand and growth that you can now sell a product and trade that for money because that allows for unlimited growth and unlimited scale. Rose, last question for you. You've had such an unbelievably resilient life and you've been so open to the world about it, and that's why you have these million subscribers on YouTube, which is a very serious number. What would you say is one of the most defining moments in your life that you decided, hey, I'm going to go out and do this?
Mm. Go out and do
Make
multiple things.
everything, just make it.
Yeah. There were multiple defining moments, but if I were to start with the one that started it all, it was I was 26 years old and in the six figures of debt. I wasn't even sure how much I owed. I just knew it was a lot. And it was like one of those really cold, dark winters in New York City. They're brutal, right? In New York City.
Yeah.
And I'd been working a lot at my job, just giving it my all, but also living paycheck to paycheck because I was so unconscious about what was going on in my bank account. Living paycheck to paycheck, I had all this debt, didn't have many friends because I was just working all the time. And 7 years before that, I'd been on this gap year, like traveling around the world, and I saw such a different future for myself back then. And there was such a contrast between like I'm 18, backpacking the world, feeling like all this freedom, like the world is at my fingertips. And I thought that's the life I was building. And then 26, and it's the complete opposite of the freedom that I envisioned my life to be. And combine that with like a breakup and all these things where I realized I was just giving my power away and trying to just look good for other people, but not really connected to what was important to me. And it was sort of a rock bottom moment where I realized, oh, okay, nobody is coming to save me. This is my life and it's not how I want it to be. And no one is going to do this for me. Like, I'm avoiding this debt, but who am I expecting to come save me with this? Nobody. Nobody's going to come. Only I can do this. So that moment of like deciding that I'm scared, I don't know if I can do this, but no one else can do it. So I have to at least try. And so that was the first time in my life that I like actually tallied my numbers and looked at there's my mom in the background.
You're,
Tallied my
you're
numbers, see what I owed to who and what if any little savings I had in my 401k that I accidentally accumulated and just really like understanding where I stood. And then from there, making the decision like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to improve this number and get it to zero. You know, like that was the turning point of everything that I built today.
I would say I think the debt was the biggest blessing you ever had because it opened you up to realizing taking control of your life. And I've known you for a long time. We've been friends for a long time, and I hope to be your friend for the next 50 years. I think the debt for you, and I'm like a very religious kind of person. I think the debt for you was a gift from God. So I tell people the best blessing you can get is to be able to struggle young instead of being able to struggle old.
Mm.
I was able to struggle young. I was very fortunate, and now I don't have to struggle when I'm older. Everyone's going to have to struggle at a certain point, and if you could struggle when you're younger, you can get that out of the way, and then you can enjoy your life and live free. So, Rosehan, quick thing for anybody who's listening to this interview, and the honor of meeting Rosehan. we'd love to offer you a free copy of Rose's book that is sponsored by us, by Klyman Financial. So anybody who follows, sends a message, and just wants to have a quick chat, we'll send you a copy of Rose's amazing book. So we really appreciate Rose just for giving this to the world, and we'd love to just be a part of your journey and seeing your journey for so long, and really calling you a friend and learning a lot from you also, and just having this open friendship with you. Rose, can you tell people where they can find you? How can people get connected with you? And how can people find your book? And also make sure when you do buy your book to rate you on Amazon, because we want to keep you as new as the bestseller on there.
Oh yeah, yes. So addazero.com, if you buy it there, then you get some extra bonuses, including a Millionaire Money Mindset video masterclass and a free chapter 1 audiobook. So addazero.com for the bonuses, or you could just buy it on Amazon. If you already bought it, you could just go to Addazero and enter in your receipt number, and you still get the bonuses. And of course, please leave me a review on Amazon. It helps me out a lot. And I'm best on YouTube. So just type Rose Han on YouTube, and then and also here I am on Instagram. So yeah, thanks for having me on, Yair. I
Thank you
really
so much.
value you as a friend, and I'm so excited for how much we're gonna grow together.
Amen. Thank you so much, Rose. Everybody, thank you so much. The audiobook is on Audible. And for the person who was asking, yes, I was at the Kinnis of the teacher convention of Chabad, but just message us, and really, we are so lucky. The financial world is so lucky to have an advocate like you who's able to bring things down into simplicity. And I cannot recommend your book enough. I read it, I loved it, and I deal with money all day long. And I think it's really a great book. It's going to be on my top 10, and we already bought 100 copies for clients because they keep asking us about
Thank
it,
you.
and we love to keep doing it more. So Rose, unlimited for your amazing followers and your amazing fans. So thank you, Rose, for coming on. I'm going to close the live, and that will be it.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Klyman Financial is a DBA of the Partners Wealth Management and SEC registered investment advisor. Klyman Financial is a DBA of the Partners Wealth Management. Klyman Financial is a DBA of the Partners Wealth Management and SEC registered investment advisor. The discussions in this podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only and are general in nature. The scenarios and recommendations mentioned are illustrative and may not be suitable for every individual. This podcast should not be considered personalized investment, tax, or legal advice. Listeners should evaluate their own financial circumstances and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decision. Investing involves risks, including the possible loss of principal. For more information, please review our form at ADV at advisorinfo.sec.gov or via broker check.